In 1938, one of the most successful authors in history wrote a manuscript so dangerously revealing that his own family locked it in a hidden vault. They refused to publish it for over 70 years. They were terrified, not of ghosts or demons, but of the system. The author was Napoleon Hill. The forbidden book is called Outwitting the Devil. But do not let the title fool you. This is not a religious book. It is a clinical, terrifying interrogation of the global control grid. The devil, in this text, is a metaphor for the dark algorithm of society, the invisible matrix that feeds on human fear, poverty, and ignorance. In this lost chapter, Hill managed to corner this system and force it to confess exactly how it controls the masses. The system made a chilling confession. It perfectly controls 98% of the human population. How? By using a psychological weapon so subtle that the victims never even realize they are infected. The system calls this weapon drifting. Look around you. Look at the people in your office, on the street, or scrolling mindlessly on their screens. 98% of them are drifters. A drifter is someone who accepts whatever life throws at them. They do not think for themselves. They let the news dictate their fear. They let their boss dictate their net worth. They let the algorithm dictate their desires. They have surrendered the ultimate supercomputer, their own mind. And the moment you surrender your mind, the system immediately steps in and does the thinking for you. It programs you with the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, and the fear of failure. It keeps your frequency so low that you willingly stay in the middle class forever. But the system also confessed its greatest weakness. There is a 2% of the population that it absolutely cannot touch, the non-drifters. These are the architects of reality, the elite. Today, we are going to open the vault, read the confession, and give you the exact mechanics to become completely untouchable. Let the interrogation begin. The system does not use physical chains to bind you. It uses something far more efficient, your own environment. During the interrogation, the entity confessed exactly how it infects the human mind before it even has a chance to defend itself. It uses 3 primary weapons. The first weapon is fear. Fear is the ultimate paralyzing agent. The system injects the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, and the fear of failure directly into the collective consciousness through the daily news, the economy, and your peers. When you are terrified of losing your paycheck, your conscious mind goes blind and your subconscious vault is completely exposed. The second weapon is the most shocking, the education system. The entity laughed as it admitted that traditional schools are its greatest factory for producing drifters. Schools do not teach you how to think, how to master the laws of reality, or how to build generational wealth. They teach you how to memorize, how to obey authority, and how to follow a predictable schedule. They program you to fear making a mistake. By the time a person graduates, their capacity for independent, rebellious thought has been surgically removed. But how does the system make this programming permanent? How does it guarantee that you stay broke, distracted, and obedient for the next 60 years? It locks you in using its most terrifying weapon, the Law of Hypnotic Rhythm. Nature uses hypnotic rhythm to keep the planets in orbit and the seasons changing. It is the law of habit, multiplied by time. But the system hijacks this universal law against you. When you drift for too long, when you complain about your finances, stay in a toxic job, or waste your evening staring at a glowing screen, Hypnotic rhythm takes over. It takes your temporary habits and crystallizes them into a permanent physical reality. Your thoughts become a magnetic web that traps you. Once hypnotic rhythm locks onto your poverty mindset, the system never has to lift a finger to control you again. You become your own jailer. But the interrogation did not end there. Hill demanded to know how the 2%, the non-drifters, break this hypnotic rhythm and become massively wealthy. And the system was forced to reveal the exit door. The entity confessed that the matrix is entirely powerless against one specific type of human, the non-drifter. The system cannot lock onto them, it cannot hypnotize them. But what exactly separates this 2% from the rest of the world? How do they escape the web? They use a psychological firewall called definiteness of purpose. A drifter wakes up every day with no clear destination. They react to whatever the day throws at them. Because their mind is empty of a dominant burning obsession, the system easily steps in and fills that void with fear, distraction, and consumerism. But a non-drifter operates like a laser. They have one singular, absolute objective. They know exactly what they are building, exactly how much wealth they demand from reality, and exactly what they are willing to give in return. When your mind is saturated with a definite purpose, a biological miracle happens. The watchman and the vault align perfectly. Your brain actively rejects any information, any fear, and any person that does not serve that exact purpose. The system tries to inject anxiety about the economy, but your mind deflects it. You become unhackable. To permanently break free from the matrix, Hill documented the 3-step defense protocol of the elite. First, you must armor your environment. You are the average of the frequencies you expose yourself to. The elite ruthlessly cut off toxic relationships, negative news, and time-wasting algorithms. They build an impenetrable fortress around their vault. If you do not control your environment will control you. Second, you must redefine failure. The system uses temporary defeat to break the spirit of the drifter. But the 2% know a hidden law. Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. When a massive failure hits, they do not panic. They analyze it, extract the data, and use it to build a stronger architecture. They weaponize the system's attacks against it. Third, and most importantly, you must dictate the rhythm. If you do not consciously create positive wealth-building habits, universal law will automatically create negative ones for you. You must force the law of hypnotic rhythm to work in your favor. When you take daily, relentless action toward your definite purpose, even when you see no immediate results, hypnotic rhythm eventually locks onto that momentum. It takes over. Success becomes automatic. You stop fighting the current and you become the tide itself. But the system has one final desperate trap for anyone trying to escape. A trap that destroys empires and bankrupts millionaires overnight. The final trap is not failure. It is the illusion of arrival. The entity confessed that when a person finally escapes the matrix and achieves their first taste of massive success, the system changes its strategy. It stops attacking them with fear, and instead, it feeds their ego. It makes them comfortable. The moment you become comfortable, your definite purpose fades. You stop taking relentless action. You start believing you have made it. And the exact second you stop moving forward, you begin to drift. The hypnotic rhythm reverses its polarity, and slowly, silently, you are pulled back into the matrix. To outwit the devil, you must understand this one absolute truth. The system never sleeps. It never stops upgrading, and it never stops trying to pull you back down. Therefore, you must never stop expanding your architecture. You must remain a student of reality until your last breath. The masses will watch this video and go back to sleep. They will return to their endless scrolling, completely forgetting the codes they just learned. The system will reclaim them by tomorrow morning. But you are still here. That means your watchman is asleep and your vault is finally ready for the ultimate upgrade. We are building a sanctuary for the 2%, a library of forbidden knowledge designed to make your mind completely untouchable. If you are ready to stop drifting and start commanding reality, subscribe to the Lost Chapter. Do not let the algorithm pull you away. Protect your vault. We will see you in the next transmission.